Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Bobby Gaines live in the site of the future Christmas Central, here today to reveal to you the brand new 2018 Christmas logo. Yeah, of course I wasn't going to make it that easy. Got to talk about it first a little bit anyway. As you guys know, I am Bobby Gaines and we are here in the site of Christmas Central 2018. It's already coming along very nicely. And now we have arrived at one of the first checkpoints of the Christmas season, and it is one of my favorites, the revealing of the Christmas logo. Now, as many of you know, my passions do include graphic design and Christmas, so what better way to marry the two than to come up with these very traditional Christmas logos every year. And it is just such a joy to make them, and even look back at some of the old ones. I get a nostalgic feeling looking back at the logos from the past few years, and they just kind of remind me of the holidays that they represent. And that's, that's what a good logo is supposed to do, and that's what my logos do. Honestly and truly, like I look back at all the old logos, I kind of have to in order to make this this frame, as it were. And yes, the 2018 logo is on the other side of this frame. I can see it right now. But in order to make this frame, I actually have to take out some of the old Christmas logos, although I kind of keep them in here as sort of like a symbolic process of, like, the Christmases of the past are always with us type of thing. Literally. All the Christmas logos from 2012 are actually in this frame underneath the current one. And it's such an interesting thing to go through them. It's like a gallery of memories. The Christmas logos, I can remember making each and every one of them. And some of them were easier to come up with than others. I'd say one of my favorite processes, not necessarily logos, but just the way it came together, was 2014, which I actually made a video of me tracing the letters and coming up with the shape and everything. And that one turned out pretty much exactly how I planned, which is great. And then you have other things like last year or 2016 where, the original process might not have ended where I started it, but it ended up coming out really fantastic. And then I have had a couple years, if I'm being honest, where I had trouble coming up with the logo, or I had trouble making it what I wanted. Because I really put a lot of pressure on myself every year to make these logos big, to make these logos just awesome and memorable. And they're my most important logo of the year. I don't think there's any denying that. I do love my Mall Tour logos. I love, just all the different stuff that I make. And there's no denying that. But, the Christmas logo is just on a whole other level. Like, how do I portray something that I love as much as Christmas? What angle do I take? What colors do I use? What feelings do I try to evoke? And part of it, at least in the last few years, has been based on the Christmas Central setup itself. I've kind of had these visions in my mind every year. Different ways to represent Christmas Central, therefore different logos. So like in 2016, it was mostly a red and green setup, so I had a red and green logo. 2015, I had, the bright white lights and the bluish kind of colors, so unsurprisingly, blue and white logo. Last year, kind of a lot of stuff going on, and I loved last year's Christmas logo. That was actually one of the biggest challenges this year, was coming up with a logo that could potentially, I don't want to say top it, but just be on that same level. And every year, no matter how the logo actually turns out, there is that moment when I realize that I finished the Christmas logo, that I've actually kind of made all the edits I want to make. I put everything together, and once I reach the end of that process and really take a step back and look at it, sometimes I need to take a break and then go back to it to see if I still like it, and other times I'm just wowed right from the start. And I'm happy to say this was one of those times that I was wowed. So I guess now I really will show it so that I can talk about it a little bit more. I'm sure you guys are waiting for this. The drum roll, please. Right, I don't have a drummer. Anyway, I'll just have to take my word for it. This time, I really will be showing off the 2018 Christmas logo right here. So, as you can see here, the Christmas logo of 2018 takes a very different type of approach in that one of the main colors is black. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've actually been inspired by some holiday greeting cards that do this. Like, they use white with red and white borders. I thought that would look really interesting as a logo. I think that black is a very just stark color, just very, eye-catching in contrast with the white and red. And you can't really see it here, and actually in the printed version it doesn't show up too well, unfortunately. Kind of the texturing that I did on the background of the logo, you'll see it better in the video version, which I'm going to show right now. And you'll see this logo in video many times, of course, as this is the Christmas logo going forward. But on the printed version, still really nice, still really good depth of colors. I love the poinsettia flowers that I designed for the edges, and just all the really little visual touches. Surprisingly, candy canes had never appeared in one of my Christmas logos before, either at poinsettias for that matter. The holly that you see in the middle I had made Holly before for a 2014 Christmas logo, but I think that this version came out much better. I really love the way that they all exist at the top as like an emblem. And as I mentioned before, and I'll kind of quickly go over it now, my 3 factors in making a Christmas logo are the shape, the color, and the font. Like, I really think those are all important. You know, all these things have to exist in some kind of shape or some kind of background, whether it's, you know, maybe a Christmas tree shape or circle, square, whatever. And the shape is something I really work hard on. I'd say the shape probably took me the longest of all these things, although everything kind of took me a while. This logo had been coming along since, I don't know, mid-October. And, I mean, this is awesome. Like, I really do love this logo. I mean, I don't want to sit here like a salesman and say I love all my logos, but I mean, I do like all of them. And this one, though, really, I don't know, it's something different for me. I know it may not seem that way, but there were some things I did this year that I might not necessarily done other years. Something as simple as the centering, because in the past I've had people tell me, well, why didn't you center the year? And for some reason, I never center the year. You look at my past Christmas logos, I always have like Christmas, then the year is like set off to the left or right, usually the right. In fact, pretty much always the right. I always have Christmas, then the year. But with the way this logo was designed, with the shape it has, with kind of the icons and everything, it just made more sense to me to put the numbers in the middle. And an interesting fact about these numbers, talking about fonts, the font I used for this, which I believe was called Sparkplug, the font I used for the Christmas text, didn't have numbers. So I'm like trying to type 2018 and it's just typing like Times New Roman because there's no numbers that look like this. So I had to actually go in and find a similar font, and even then I had to kind of modify these numbers a little bit so they still had the same like swirliness that the letters have. Because I really do. I love this font. This font is also something kind of different. I usually use either cursive fonts or like really bold fonts. This is kind of a combination of the two. It's like an elegant font, but it's not like a light font. And I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time, but hopefully some of you guys who are graphic designers know what I'm saying. Like this font that I'm using here is not a cursive font, but it is still a really elegant font. And I don't know, I wanted the logo to have kind of like an old-fashioned type of feel. You know, let that give you any hint you want in terms of what my Christmas Central setup will look like. But this is, for me, the perfect logo for this year. This is the representation of Christmas going forward. And that feels really weird to say. There's always kind of this weird moment when I retire the previous year's Christmas logo. Like, it's kind of like it sets in that the 2017 Christmas season really is done. Which, I mean, that's not a secret. But then what's more surprising is that the 2018 season is here. It's like this whole rebirth of Christmas every single year and literally interpreted in logo form. And it's an amazing process. And this is kind of the first time it really hits me that this is happening. Like, this is a new Christmas. So when that logo was designed and when I finally see it and I finally, you know, I start to picture it on, you know, my Christmas presents, on this, on the Christmas video. Like, I start seeing it, like, in my head, like, what it's going to look like, the different colors and imagery I can use alongside it. And there's a lot of options here because, like I said, I have the candy canes, I have the holly, I have the poinsettias. They can all kind of make playful little emblems on their own, in addition to this main logo being the one. So this is awesome. No, this really is. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this logo reveal. Always one of my favorite kind of days of the Christmas season. It's not really anything you mark on your calendar. It's not like, oh, today's the day Bobby reveals the Christmas logo. But this is a Christmas checkpoint for me. One of many coming up as November moves along. And I am very excited to decorate Christmas Central and just kind of keep going from here because Christmas 2018 is now officially underway, even closer than ever before. So again, one last look at the logo for the video, but don't worry, you'll be seeing plenty more of it in the coming weeks. Christmas 2018 getting underway right now.